Howdy, hotshots. It's the Dividend Daddy, your favorite, not a financial advisor with not financial advice. I'm here for a little bit of a thought experiment with you. Did they ruin Ulti? Okay, look, you could see my barbecue smoking back there. I got to burn off some stuff before I start cooking my food. But I have a couple minutes here, and I have noticed something about Ulti. If you look at its return since inception, they're very positive. Even though you saw the NAV decline consistently throughout the course of its life. What we see now is that the NAV is declining, but the total return actually isn't in the positive territory, at least not for the last several weeks. Now, I did show you that if you had bought it the first of every month, that you would have still had a positive return, but those positive returns were getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And recently, every single week, it seems that the NAV is decaying by more than the distributions are making up for. We don't know if that's going to continue, but it isn't a good sign. What I have to say is that back in March, when they kind of revamped the fund and decided that they needed downside protection, did they kill the fund with that downside protection? We all know that the primary goal of Ulti is to generate that weekly income. I'm not 100% sure that the weekly income is what damaged Ulti, although it is possible that it did. What I'm wondering is that if giving up part of the premiums in order to have the downside protection is one of the things that has caused Ulti's income to be reduced in such a way that it's not making up for the NAV decline. You see, Ulti used to have over 100% distribution yield. Now it's down in the 80s. Sometimes it bumps up to 90s when the stock price goes down. But now again, we have an estimate of 9 cents for the week. If that is the case, if the lack of premium income is causing Ulti to not outpace its NAV decline, it's really smoking back there. Is it possible that we just basically have a consistent loser on our hands? And if that is the case, if Ulti is going to continue its NAV decay faster than its distribution rate, I mean, you'd be better off sitting on cash, or you'd be better off putting your money in a high yield savings account, because at least you have a positive return while you spend your capital. I think it's possible that if you're holding companies that over time are going to grow, that giving up the premium income for that downside protection, which seems like a good thing to us because it keeps us from going down too fast, is actually causing us to just consistently go down slowly. I actually want to know what you guys think. I want you to share your opinions on this topic down below. But that extra 20%, 25% in distribution would help make up for a lot of losses, and also potentially cause the fund to have a positive total return that is larger than what we've seen in recent weeks and even up to recent months. You see, if we're buying puts in order to protect ourselves on the downside, and we're giving up 20 to 25% of our premiums to do that, what if the losses that we were incurring in the stocks were actually less than what it's costing us to buy those puts? You see, I have never really bought protective puts on my covered call positions. I have wheeled a bunch of stocks. And yes, I have had some bigger losses because I didn't have those protective puts. But on average, my options trades have been profitable. And I did that without protective puts, especially if you're buying companies that you anticipate to grow. You just sell the covered call, and then if it goes down below where it's profitable to sell it, you sit on it for a while till it moves back up and you sell another covered call. I enter most of those positions with puts, so I'll sell puts, and some of them I get to keep the entire premium. Some of them the stock gets put to me and it continues to go down, and I wait for it to turn around and come back up, and then I start selling covered calls on it. So I don't always have an open option position on the stocks that I am trading options on. And I'm wondering if Ulti would be better served. to have those stocks in their portfolio and just get smaller and smaller options premiums on the ones that have gone down too much, but then still give them room to come back to where their cost basis is. For instance, if you sell a put or a covered call on a stock that's $60 and it goes down to $40, you still may be able to go out longer term on the calendar and generate a little bit of premium and give yourself room for that stock to get back up to your cost basis, instead of automatically taking a big chunk of the premium and buying a protective put, which is money that you're never going to get back. So, perhaps the premiums would be hurt over time because of stocks that were in the red, that they were waiting on coming back to the point where they're profitable on the position, but at least that money wouldn't automatically be gone. So a lot of people are saying the only thing that matters in Ulti is income, and maybe there is a level of income where that would be true, right? Like if we were getting 125%, but we were only losing 80% for each distribution, well, then you still have 45% left. But when you're getting a 90% distribution and you're losing 100% of that distribution, of 100%, then you're never going to catch up. So I'm just wondering if by trying to help us protect against NAV decay, if they actually wound up hurting the fund. And maybe I haven't been as eloquent as I could have been explaining that thought process, but I'm sure you guys are all intelligent and you're all savvy, so I'm sure that you can understand what I'm getting at. Is the extra income that they gave up in order to buy downside protection, is that actually causing Ulti to lose money over time instead of making money over time like the fund initially was, even though the NAV was decreasing at such a rapid rate, because the premiums were making up for that decay? So I really want to know what you think. Do you think they should just do away with the protective puts? I kind of would like to see what would happen if they did that. It would make the fund riskier as far as initial drawdowns, but over time, would it cause it to have more of a positive total return? All right, D-Gens, I'll talk to you later.